This is Abby, and this is a video on Gemini rising. So, if you have a Gemini rising, you are expected in your family to be communicative, to be quick mentally, and to be smart. Even if you weren't book smart, you probably could get by without doing any homework or cracking a book at school because you're good. You're good at you're good at talking. So you're the kind that can, sell ice to an Eskimo, but you're also really social. So you probably have a lot of friends. You probably have sort of ADD because Gemini is the ADD sign of the zodiac. So you can't keep your attention on anything too long. And it's a mutable sign, which means it's really like go with the flow and adaptable. And that's why, mutable signs, all of them, Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces, they all sort of have this quality of like just kind of having to change things up a lot. And with you, it's through different avenues of learning. You probably like to multitask because you can, and it makes you feel good. It makes you feel secure because your rising sign is what you were expected to do in your family, regardless of who you were, who you identify with, what your sun sign is. Your moon sign's your emotional, body, your reaction to the world. So that's all separate. Your rising sign was your expected role. You might have been expected to be a bit of like a storyteller, or you could have gotten away with like telling the craziest lies and everyone just laughed because your stories were crazy. Or you could have just, you learned to manipulate things really well because Gemini has a way with words and they can tend to lie, but it's just because they don't really see deeper than the superficial point of getting from A to B. And also they just like to communicate, so they don't, it doesn't matter if it's like necessarily true or if it's a falsehood. And you also might be accused of being a little bit like crazy because Gemini can just switch their mood like that. But you're mentally, your approach to the world is like, it's an air sign, so it's about like theories, like mental stuff, socializing just for communication. It's all about ideas. So you might not really get that emotional on the surface, and you come across as being like very, I don't want to say like assertive and like aggressive, like Aries maybe, or a fire sign, but you come across as being very like active. You go out there and you talk to people and you make the connections, you make the networking happen, you love to learn, you make it clear. You're not one that allows things to come to you or sort of like waits to see, test the waters. Like you want to get in the mix. So that's Gemini rising, and where your Mercury is in your chart is also very significant because if your Mercury is in, let's say, Capricorn, you'll come across as a more practical type, or you might talk a lot about things like, social stuff like celebrities, people who are on the highest social scale. You might talk business, you might talk about serious stuff. But if your Mercury is in, like, Cancer, you might talk more about nurturing things, but you're still going to be a talker. It just depends on what you're going to be talking about or learning about. So that's something to take into consideration because Mercury is called your your chart ruler. It's a significant planet for you. Okay, so that's Gemini rising. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you.